NTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Neighboring Kenya, yes, neighboring Kenya has actually reopened the churches. But guess what? Less than 100 people are allowed in a church at a go. And young people between the age of 10, under the age of 10, are not allowed in the churches. And those above 58 are not allowed to enter the same churches. In here in Uganda, the religious leaders are clamoring, asking government to actually let them reopen the churches because they are saying they can observe the social distancing. How can that be achieved? Yes, my reporter Stephen Mbide is at Christ the King, ready to talk to the parish priest, that is Monsignor Gerard Kalumba. A very good morning once again, my brother. Let me hope I got his name right.
Yes, good morning.
What's the latest where you are?
11 days since the president declared a lockdown on public gatherings and lockdown on the churches and other worship centers. But here, I'm coming to you from inside Christ the King Church. On ordinary day, you would be seeing chairs well arranged here, but because of the lockdown, all the chairs have been pushed towards the corners and the speakers have been also pushed towards the walls. And this is just because there is no any more gathering, no more worshiping here. But other countries and other areas, you see that the churches are coming up with processes and plans of easing the lockdown. The presidents in some other countries like Nigeria, like yesterday, Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya declared that now there is easing of the public gatherings and churches will be resuming. Also, we've seen churches in Botswana, Malawi also opening up. But in Uganda, this is not yet the case. I'm going to be speaking to someone who is well knowledgeable, who has a lot of wealth in knowledge about religious matters, who has been a parish priest, who has been a priest for the last 45 years because he was ordained in 1975 and he has been the parish priest of Christ the King Church here in Kampala for the last 12 years because he was brought here as the parish priest in 2008. This is none other than Monsignor Gerard Kalumba, who is going to let me know about what should be done if churches in Uganda are also to be able to ease the lockdown. Good morning, Monsignor.
Morning.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you. I'm thankful to the Lord that I'm still healthy and that COVID-19 has not taken us. So we are humbled, I think, as a country, and very thankful to the Lord that this COVID-19 has really looked us at with grace and with a soft hand. We have not been really taken like those other countries where people have suffered quite a bit and died in big numbers. Here we don't have big numbers of sick people, and we don't have a record of somebody who is dead. Are we not really humbled? And shouldn't we be very thankful?
We should say praise be to God.
Praise be to God, I think.
Okay, Mr. For you, on a personal note, just take me through how has this lockdown been for you? We were used to meeting people here coming, the congregants coming here, but now you are alone and your family, close family here in the Christ the King Parish. How has it been for you?
Of course, it is not the ordinary thing. We are supposed to be here to be with the community, a worshiping community, to be with the community that comes here for prayers, to be with the community that believes, that community of faith. That's what we are here for. We are not here for private, personal business or something of that nature. We are here for the people. But if the people are taken away, in this case, by God's will, because nobody, maybe we can't say it is so and so wanted them to be away, or all this was the motive of taking them away by someone. So we cannot say, we just said it was God's will that we learn in a situation like this, we learn something. So I hope we have learned something from such a situation where people don't come to the church. And here we are. And our existence here is the people who come to the church. That's our existence. That's our purpose, the reason why we are here. We are not here to just look at buildings.
Christians, I've seen many Christians coming up, at least some trying to worship and praise from their homes. Others are so thirsty for coming together in a church. But Uganda is still under lockdown. Other countries have tried to ease the lockdown and try to bring people together to praise and worship. Here in Uganda, what would you tell authorities? What should be done if we are to ease the lockdown for public gatherings like churches?
Well, authorities, I think, I pity them because they have to take decisions for common good, not for personal advantage. I think that's where the whole thing is now for the authorities, that as they sit with those who are informed, because people in authority, politicians may not be informed enough about diseases and so on, but they have people who are informed who assist them to assess and understand what should be done. Hopefully they are well advised. But when the politicians have to take decisions, they should take decisions for the common good, not for their personal advantage as such. So I believe they have, for the time being, they have looked at the common good to see that we all remain alive, and we thank God we have remained alive for at least up to now. So when you look around and see what is happening, I cannot assess too well, what is happening with this disease in this society of Uganda and among our people. I'm not really an expert to tell you what is happening with this kind of thing. But of course, we have to be credible. When the leaders have to be credible to the community. When the community begins to feel, to question the credibility of what is going on, that's where the thing becomes a little bit difficult. That even where the disease will be serious, people will not accept because they think they will think that it is, no, this is not true because somebody is trying to do something for himself or for personal advantage. So that's where we have to be extremely careful, especially in leadership areas, that when decisions are taken, they are really taken for that common good, and people realize that it is for all, it is not just for somebody's personal advantage.
Talking about the questioning of the credibility, some Christians are saying that, well, when you go to the markets or go through some arcades, especially those who are operating underground, the first and second floors, you see some people operating. You go to Chikubo, you go to some markets, people are coming together and they are saying that, well, in the church maybe we could sit, if we are sitting 500, let us sit 200 or even less than 200. What could be the plan if we are to have this easing, or if we are to continue questioning the credibility of the situation?
Well, I'm not questioning the credibility, but I'm talking as somebody who goes out in society and listen to what people say, like you also, journalists, you are also in society, you listen to what people say. Of course, there are many people there we have not had recorded deaths or what, but there are certain other disadvantages in the society where people when they don't work, they can't have anything to eat, where the government may not have the possibility of feeding everybody at all times, where people need to go to hospitals and they don't have money to pay in the hospitals where they have to go. So there are these other things which are really difficult for the people. And the economy of the country, of course, suffers in many ways. So the church is not isolated from whatever is going on in the community. When the community suffers, the church also suffers, because the church is the community. It's not the building that we are standing in, but it's the community. So if the community is suffering, the church is suffering as well from that point of view. But if we have already sat down as a community here to try to analyze that, if they say let us have a partial relief of lockdown, what should we do? We have thought we shall do whatever is asked of us by the authorities.
So in the meantime, what have you been able to sit down and draw a plan about trying to, if they say that tomorrow churches are open for you, what is in your plan? What is on your plate?
They might say tomorrow churches are open, but these are the conditions. So we have to wait to hear those conditions. But as we wait to hear those conditions, which may be set by the leadership, we said that we should have more masses so that we don't have too many people congregating at a go. We should, instead of maybe 6 masses on a Sunday, we might have 9 instead of masses, 3 masses on a daily basis, we might have 4 or 5, so that they are smaller communities, but they come and they go within the time that is more convenient for all of them. So we have sat and thought about that. We have less singing, so that because also the singing can cause the spread of the disease. Maybe we should have less singing, and the preaching should be shorter, so that when we reopen, we have some of those ideas, but we don't know the condition that will be set when the lockdown is partially relieved.
Let's talk about the Christians who are used to coming here, congregating with you, and you are the leader here at the Christ the King Church Parish. Just want to understand from you, what are the Christians telling you? Those who are able to call you, or those who are able to meet you maybe at a shop, what are they telling you about this situation, and what do they want to be done because they are their voice? What are they saying?
Of course, there are many there. They wish, they want to come and pray and worship and be before the Lord, because, as you know, in the Catholic Church we have the sacrament and blessed sacrament, and we receive Holy Communion. So praying on a TV or Facebook, you feel detached. You feel as if it is just a show, a play of some kind you watch. It's not for entertainment. It should be something real for people, and so physical touch. So people miss that physical touch, where they come and really meet their friends and pray together, pray for each other. They listen to one another. They can tell even their neighbor whom they know that this is our problem, and so on, and they talk about their own issues and in lives, and also pray about their issues together as a community. Because we are communities. You see, when people die, somebody is dead, what's the use of gathering? But because people, even somebody who is dead is part of community, people gather. And for burial, people gather. For all sorts, for wedding for 2 people. But people gather because human beings are social, and they are built on this. One of the areas on which they are built is sociability. So if you take it away, you create tension in them, tensions which can even cause death, like somebody who killed himself in Masaka, or the Boda rider, because of that inner tension which is not relieved with others in social life and so on. Others can be shot down by when they are breaking the law and so on. They are not dead by COVID, but then they are dead by these circumstantial things.
Economic situation. But the reason as why I ask you that question is because some of the people I meet on the way, because they tell me that the church, in a way, is kind of letting them down. That's some of them they are telling me, because they are not hearing your voice louder to the authorities to tell them that as you are opening other ventures, they hear you have a plan for higher institutions of learning. What is your plan as the authorities? They are asking that you, the church leaders, your voice is not loud enough to fight for them so that they can come back to worship.
Really, I cannot speak as a church leader in this case. These are the bishops who are our church leaders. They are the people who are supposed to guide us in some of these areas, other than me as an individual. For me, I'm a simple priest who is sent here to serve the people when the people are around. But I think
what they expect is that whenever you go to Sundays, when you have those live Facebook and other channels, TV, communication channels, that they want you every Sunday, every Saturday for the Seventh-day Adventists to raise that voice that we need the churches to be opened.
Of course, that's what we all need. I hope also the leaders need it. I don't know whether the leaders don't want it or not. That one I'm not too sure. But I hope the leaders also are people of faith. They need also to pray with others and so on and so forth. So that's where I am not too sure. I have not made any research. Maybe for you have made a research as a journalist of why should Uganda be so much? Is it because we want to save lives that we think there is a real danger? And of course you are giving examples of where people are congregating a bit, and the social distancing is not very good, the masks are not very good, and so on. All these things are happening. That's where credibility is very, very important when things are happening in a situation of this nature, we should be credible in what we are doing. Okay. So the leaders should be credible when they are making these decisions.
Mr. Gerard Kalumba, let's also talk about the projects here at the Christ the King Church. I know this COVID situation could be in a way hitting you. You are, for someone who has passed by this street here next to Christ the King Church, this is Kimathi Avenue and Colville Street. At least they've been able to see the magnificent building that is here, extension of the church. How has the COVID-19 lockdown impacted on you, this project here, that is the construction of the church?
Of course, it has impacted on us quite heavily from many points of view. At a certain stage, the contractors also stopped constructing because they could not have the in-camping for their workers, so they just closed and they did not continue constructing for about 2 months, I think. But also, we as people who are, the church, you and me and everybody who comes here, we have not been coming. And because we have not been coming, the money we have to get to use to get to and pay for the construction has also dwindled. It is not easy because we have been depending on people's accessibility to the church and coming, and whatever little they offer, they didn't have to offer billions and billions. But people came in big numbers and they offered whatever little they had, and that little they had we put together, and that always assisted us to pay for the work that is going on without too much fundraising functions of that nature, which is okay if there's a possibility. But also fundraising for billions of shillings is not something people would get tired of the way. What are you fundraising for? Because the project was supposed to be 8.8 billion shillings. So initially, so if you have to fundraise for that money, on how often do you do it and how do you do it so that people remain warm about their project? But in this case, where we have not really gone in that style, but used the style of people coming and bringing whatever they have, and we continue to do our work, has been, I think, appreciated and is simple. But now there's a bit of a problem. So we are asking the contractor to find a way of...
Is the government coming to your rescue?
We have not gone to government to seek government money as such. Or at the beginning, we asked them if they could waive off the VAT, but I think they find it difficult to do that. So we did our... But people have been very good in their project, so I thank them very much. I thank our people. They have been very generous for the project. They have given whatever they could and actually to support this project. And actually, if the plan had not changed, because from extension to total reconstruction, they had corrected all the money that was required for this construction. But now we need a little more.
Okay. Let's also talk about this period that we are in, the period of elective politics. Many of your Christians are warming up for political seats. But, of course, the political organizations, political parties are saying that the road is not so smooth enough. They're asking that these scientific campaigns be banned, be abolished. They want physical rallies where they are able to address rallies. What is your opinion about this?
Of course, the reason being given for whatever is taking place is, again, the COVID-19 problem. That's why that's the reason being given. And that's what I continue to stress, that when COVID-19 is used for anything, it should be genuine. It should not be used for personal advantage in any way, but should be a genuine cause to say that we are really trying to save life. But when people look around and see what is happening, then that will indicate whether what is being said by leadership is credible or not credible. So I think the politicians, I don't know, I'm not one of them, I'm not seeking for any elective position in politics, but I meet them. I'm sure they would like to meet their people and talk to them, because it's very difficult in politics there to be known unless you go to the people and talk to them. They need the people to, and we have not reached such a stage in our society where scientifically everybody owns a TV, everybody owns a smartphone, everybody owns a radio. even the masks, the government, I think, promised some masks, but even that has not happened yet. For the education system, you know, the schools are also closed, and they say they are teaching in the newspapers, but I don't know how far the newspapers go, how far the teaching on the radio goes, how they do practicals of sciences on radios and the TVs. So it's still a very complicated thing, and we need to pray that we get into a more normal life than we are in. This is not a normal life.
Let's also, let me go personal with you. Your life, since 1975 when you were ordained a priest, now 45 years later, 12 years here as a parish priest, what have you learned in this ministry, serving the Lord? What have you learned that maybe you wouldn't have learned if you were not into priesthood?
Well, I don't know. I've learned quite a few things in the ministry of the priesthood. When I was ordained, I was quite a young man. I was about to be 24, I think, at that time when I was ordained in 1975, and I was happy to be posted in a parish because that's what was my expectation, nothing more than that. So I was put in a parish down in Kiganda towards Mubende, and I was very happy there. But barely a year there, that was my first challenge. They tell me, go and teach in the seminary. So they picked me up to go and teach in Katigondo seminary at a very young stage. So that was a big challenge. And the next big challenge was they asked me to go to Rome and do the studies in scriptures. That was another big challenge. And when I arrived in Rome and I had to learn new languages like Greek and Hebrew, I almost told my friends, let me go back home. I can't suffer this kind of thing. So those were challenges, but which, when I went through them, they built into me something which I think I love to be, but I never intended it. If I had been given an opportunity to make a choice, I would not have chosen to do what I did.
Okay, as I wind up this conversation with you, for someone who's been watching you on TV, is looking at his priest here, for those who have been coming here at Christ the King Church, they want to have a blessing from you. Yeah. Look into the camera and give them a blessing in 1 minute.
Okay. The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you, especially bless you, intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary in our situation. The Blessed Uganda Matters. Continue to intercede for us that we lead normal lives. And I bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nyoli Gerard Kalumba. He's the parish priest of this place, Christ the King Church. Stephen Imbido Fefesuwe Chibuga. I've been here with him having a conversation on a wide range of issues. Now handing you back to Romeo Busiko, who is there in the studios. I sign out and wish you a blessed Tuesday.
Well, Monsignor Gerard Kalumba talking to Mr. Stephen right there on the issue of reopening churches. Kenya is ahead of us. They have a phased reopening of churches in the next 3 weeks, but only less than 100 people are allowed in their churches. 13-year-olds and under are not allowed in the churches. Even those above 58 are not allowed in the churches. With that being said, I would like to just read out a few of your messages. The people who are celebrating your birthdays on this particular day. I have Aguti Juliet. You're saying, myself, I was born today. Happy birthday to me. Indeed, happy birthday. Omombeja Mam is saying, happy birthday, Nahasifa Mohammed. You mean so much to us. We pray to the Almighty to grant a long, healthy, COVID-free life. Indeed. Isanga Sweet, you're saying, myself, Alhamdulillah, the Queen of July. I was born. Happy birthday to you. Stephen Derrick, you're saying, dear Lord, thank you for this added year. Please continue blessing me, Almighty. And also we have Brenda Budde, you're saying, my baby brother Ephraim Joel Maweje Omogalanda, our mommy, happy birthday to you. And all the kings, the queens, the boys and girls who are celebrating your birthdays on this particular Tuesday, have yourselves a joyous one. Now, the Nation Media Group actually shares the same vision with the Joint United Nations program on HIV and AIDS, which also calls for 0 new HIV infections, 0 discrimination, and 0 AIDS-related deaths. Have yourselves a blessed morning. My name is Romeo Busiko. Good day.